cross now for Liverpool. Oh, that's quite brilliant! A terrific. Lucas on towards Emre Can with the overhead. Oh, it's an astonishing goal.
McManaman on the volley. Oh, that is terrific.
Oh, and here's Suarez. It's a horrible error again, and Suarez goes from the halfway line. Waits. It's played for Risa.
Here's Dalglish. Oh, the goal! What a start from Liverpool!
Robbie's header. Robbie Fowler. Oh, what a magical touch. Robbie Fowler! Simply magnificent!
Luis Garcia! What an effort!
Salah doesn't have anything to work with there, but he somehow kept the ball. Incredible feat by Mohamed Salah, and he goes on! Oh! Here he comes. Make yourself a story. It's Alexander on. Oh, it's Alisson! Yes!
Whelan. And Dalglish, and rushes on the far side. Is this three? It is!
Hi guys, for my first football related video I thought where better than to start with Liverpool Football Club, as this is the football team that I support. Today I'll be talking about the club's achievements, best moments, records, etc. through their history. Liverpool Football Club was established in 1892 after a disagreement between John Holding, the owner of Anfield, and Everton Football Club. Everton then left and John Holding formed Liverpool as a replacement for his stadium. In 1892 to 96, the first managers of Liverpool were William Edward Barclay and John McKenna. Barclay acted as secretary manager, overseeing the administrative side of the club, while McKenna took charge of the matters on the field. In Liverpool's first match in a pre-season game against Rotherham Town, they won 7-1. This first team was entirely Scottish. Liverpool then played in a Lancashire league. In their first season winning the league, they were then elected to the Football League Second Division for the 1893-94 season, going on to win the title without losing a single match. Unfortunately, they were relegated back down to Division 2 a season later. In 1896, McCain appointed Tom Watson as manager, who became the longest serving manager in Liverpool's history. In 1897-98 season, Liverpool were back in Division 1. They then went on to win the Division 1 title in the 1900-1901 season. Alex Rainsbeck was the captain of Liverpool in their first division title. He also is the second longest captain for Liverpool of all time. Liverpool won the league title again in 1905-06 season. They reached their first FA Cup final in 1914 but lost to Burnley 1-0. Tom Watson unfortunately passed away in 1915. Between 1915 to 1919, peacetime competitions were suspended during the First World War. Liverpool competed in the Lancashire Section Principal from 1915 to 1919, winning it in the 1916 to 1917 season. David Ashworth was appointed manager when football resumed after the war. Liverpool won their first division title again in 1921-22 season. They then won it again in the 1922-23 season, but with a caretaker manager with Matt McQueen, who was a director at Liverpool due to David Ashworth leaving in February of that season to Oldham Athletic, who went on to get relegated. These 23 years marked a barren spell before Liverpool won another title. Our third highest goal scorer played during this period, Gordon Hodgson, scoring goals between 1925 and 1936, and Billy Liddell started between 1938 1961 period, who was the fourth highest goal scorer of all time with 241 goals during this period. During this time, however, the famous Man United manager Matt Busby played for Liverpool between 1936 to 1945, playing for 3 seasons. Between 1939-45, peacetime competition was suspended due to the Second World War. The 1939-40 season finished with only 3 games played. They participated in the wartime leagues during this time until 1945-46 season. George Kay, who had been manager since 1936, went on to win the Division 1 title with Liverpool in the 1946-47 season. Liverpool also got to the FA Cup final in the 1949-50 season after 36 years, losing 2-0 to Arsenal. Kay unfortunately was feeling ill and retired in January 1951 and died 3 years later in Liverpool on the 18th of April 1954. Don Welsh became Liverpool manager in 1951. By 1956, Don Welsh became the first Liverpool manager to be sacked after leading the club into relegation in 1954. During this time, Phil Taylor replaced Don Welsh as manager after playing for Liverpool between 1936 to 1954, playing 312 games and scoring 32 goals, who also failed to get Liverpool promoted or gain trophies. During this time, Roger Hunt signed for Liverpool and became the second highest goal scorer with 285 goals.
Hunt, it's a goal!
And Tommy Lawrence signed for Liverpool during this time.
My idea was that to build Liverpool into a bastion of invincibility, you know, like Napoleon had that idea. He would conquer the bloody world, you know. And that's what I wanted, that Liverpool would be untouchable.
In December 1959, Bill Shankly was appointed manager, beginning a 15-year spell that brought 1 Division 2 title, 3 Division 1 titles, 2 FA Cups, and a first European trophy, the UEFA Cup, to Anfield. Bill Shankly was famous during his reign for establishing the Anfield Boot Room. When he was manager at the club, he was usually at his typewriter, personally replying to the letters arriving at Melwood. He would then call some supporters at their home discussing the previous game, and there are accounts of him providing tickets to fans are endless. During this time, Ian Callaghan, the longest serving player, signed in 1960, playing 857 games until 1978. Ron Yates and Ian St John also joined Liverpool in this period in 1961. Tommy Smith in 1962, Ray Clements and Emlyn Hughes, who are joint 4th highest appearances with 665, Steve Highway and John Toshak in 1970, Kevin Keegan in 1971, and Phil Thompson in 1972. In 1964, Liverpool changed their kit to all red. First edition of Match of the Day on August 22nd in 1964 against Arsenal was played, and the first coloured game on Match of the Day against West Ham in 1967. You'll Never Walk Alone by Jerry and the Pacemakers became Liverpool's anthem in 1960. Bob Paisley became manager of Liverpool after playing for them between 1939 and 1954 and being assistant manager 1959 to 1973. During the 9 seasons he was in charge, Paisley proceeded to win 6 league titles, 3 European Cups and 3 League Cups, 6 Community Shields and an EFA and Super Cup to become the most successful manager in the history of the club, with 20 trophies. The Shankly Gates were built in 1982. Phil Neal, Ray Kennedy and David Fairclough signed in 1974, Samuel Lee in 1976, Alan Hansen and Sir Ken Dalglish, or King Kenny as Liverpool fans call him, signed for Liverpool in 1977. Alan Kennedy in 1978, Ronnie Whelan in 1979, and Ian Rush the first time round in 1980. Bruce Grobbler, Steve Nicol, Mark Lawrenson and Craig Johnson in 1981, and Gary Gillespie in 1983. Joe Fagan became manager after Bob Paisley retired, winning the First Division title, a League Cup and a European Cup in his first season in 1983-84. In 1985, the European final was overshadowed by the Heysel disaster, resulting in 39 deaths, mostly Italians. The blame was laid on the Liverpool fans, even though it was started by the Juventus fans and Liverpool just retaliated. They were banned from European football for 6 years. Jan Molby signed for Liverpool during this time in 1984 and Steve McMahon in 1985. Sir King Kenny was made player manager being the club's first player manager. In his first season in charge, Dalglish won the league and FA Cup double. He then went on to win 4 Community Shields, 2 league titles and 1 FA Cup before retiring in February 1991. However, during his tenure, the Hillsborough disaster happened, which claimed 94 lives on the day, with the death toll reaching 97. Dalglish attended many funerals of the victims, including 4 in one day. His presence in the aftermath of the disaster was described as colossal and heroic. He, along with many others, expressed regret that the police and the FA did not consider delaying the kick-off. During the Hills Memorial service in 2011, Liverpool MP Steve Rotherham announced he would submit an early day motion to have Dalglish knighted, saying not only for his outstanding playing and managerial career, but also the charity work he has done with his wife Marion for the breast cancer support and what he did after the Hillsborough disaster. It is common knowledge it affected him deeply. During his time as manager, Kenny signed John Aldridge, John Barnes, and Peter Beardsley in 1987, using the money from the sale of Ian Rush, who signed back in 1988 and then went on to become the highest goal scorer for the club with 346 goals.
Oh, there's Rush in there. Rush! Goal!
Steve McManaman then signed in 1990. Graham Souness became manager after Dalglish. He had played for Liverpool between 1978 and 1984. In his time as manager, Liverpool only won 1 FA Cup and the Community Shield. Jamie Redknapp, Mark Wright signed in 1991, David James in 1992 and Neil Ruddock in 1993. Roy Evans took over in 1994 as manager of Liverpool, and during his time he only won 1 League Cup in the 1994-95 season. Jason McAteer signed in 1995, and the traitor Michael Owen joined Liverpool alongside Patrick Berger and Jamie Carragher in 1996. Danny Murphy joined in 1997, and the statue of Bill Shankly was built in 1997. In 1998, Gerard Houllier temporarily was appointed joint manager with Roy Evans until November, when Roy Evans resigned, only lasting 18 games. Houllier then became the first non-British solo manager for Liverpool. During this time, he won a treble in 2001, consisting of the FA Cup, League Cup and UEFA Cup. Houllier temporarily stepped away from being a manager due to a heart surgery during the 2001-02 season, but the squad was unaffected and finished in second. Phil Thompson stepped in during this period, winning a League Cup in 2003. Houllier then departed the club by mutual consent at the end of the 2003-2004 season. Steven Gerrard, the longest-serving captain, joined in 1998.
Then Gerrard! Oh, goodness me!
Sami Hyypiä, Didier Hamann and Vladimir Smitsa signed in 1999, Emil Heskey in 2000, John Arne Riise, Milan Baros, Jerzy Dudek in 2001, Steve Finnan and Harry Kewell in 2003. In Benitez's first season in charge, Liverpool reached the UEFA Champions League final, winning in one of the greatest comebacks in Champions League history, being 3-0 down at half-time and coming back to win in a penalty shootout. The following season, Liverpool reached the FA Cup final, dubbed the Gerrard final, after another win through penalties after a 3-3 draw against West Ham. Liverpool reached another Champions League final in 2007 during this period, but lost 2-1 to AC Milan. Benitez then left through mutual consent after a disappointing 2009-10 season. Xabi Alonso and Luis Garcia joined during this time in 2004, Peter Crouch and Pepe Reina in 2005, Daniel Agger, Fabio Aurelio, Dirk Kuyt in 2006, Lucas Leiva, Javier Mascherano and Fernando Torres in 2007. Mike Skirtle, Glenn Johnson joined in 2009. Assistant manager Sammy Lee took charge temporarily until July 2010, when Roy Hodgson was confirmed as the new manager. After a poor tenure, which included being 18th after 6 games and only the 1 away win during his time in charge, Hodgson was sacked in January 2011. Dalglish took over a day before a third-round FA Cup game against Man United. King Kenny had signed a 3-year deal but was sacked a year later. Although the 2011-12 season ended poorly, with 8th place finish in the Premier League, Kenny guided Liverpool to a League Cup title, ending a 6-year trophy drought. Jordan Henderson and Luis Suarez was signed during this period.
Suarez.
In June 2012, Brendan Rodgers became Liverpool manager. In the 2013-14 season, Liverpool had a surprise title challenge, however ended the league in second place, despite scoring 101 goals, the club's most since 1895-96 season and third highest in the Premier League history. Rodgers was the first manager to win the LMA Manager of the Year award. However, he was the first manager of the club not to win a major trophy in his 3 years at the helm, and was sacked in October 2015. Raheem Sterling was signed from the youth squad, and Liverpool signed Joe Allen in 2012. Philip Coutinho, the Little Magician, and Simon Mignolet was signed in 2013. 2014, Dejan Lovren, Adam Lallana, and Emre Can signed for Liverpool. Nathaniel Klein, Roberto Firmino, Bobby, Joe Gomez, James Milner, and Divock Origi, the super sub, signed for Liverpool in 2015. Jurgen Klopp,
the normal one,
then came in as manager from Borussia Dortmund, making an instant impact, bringing his heavy metal football, taking Liverpool to a League Cup final and Europa League final in his first season, unfortunately losing both. They then reached the Champions League final in 2018 to lose 3-1 to Real Madrid. A year later, they reached the Champions League final again after a thrilling 4-3 against Barcelona in the semi-final.
He's been here since he was 6, and he spotted that!
They beat Tottenham Hotspurs 2-0, giving them a 6th Champions League and finishing second place in the Premier League, 1 point behind the champions Man City. They then won the UEFA Super Cup at the beginning of the 2019-20 season and won the first FA Club World Cup trophy. Liverpool also ended a 30-year wait, winning the Premier League with 99 points, which is the most in their history, even with the season being suspended for 3 months in March due to COVID. They broke the record for the earliest title win with 7 games to spare, the biggest points lead at any time with 25, and the most consecutive home wins with 24, and won the league at the latest month ever in the Premier League history in June. Liverpool then won an FA Cup and League Cup, beating Chelsea in both at penalties. Liverpool then won the Community Shield in 22-23 season. Hopefully, under Klopp's reign, there will be more trophies to come. This time, Jorginho Wijnaldum, Sadio Mane and Joel Matip signed in 2016. Trent Alexander-Arnold came up from the youth squad. Mohamed Salah, Egyptian king.
Salah!
Andrew Robertson, Robbo, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Ox, signed for Liverpool in 2017. Virgil van Dijk, Alisson Becker and Fabinho signed in 2018. In 2019, Curtis Jones came up from the youth squad and Diego Jota signed in 2020. Luis Diaz and Ibrahim Konate in 2021. Darwin Núñez and Cody Gakpo in 2022. And this season, 23-24, Alexis McAllister, Dominic Szoboszlai, Wataru Endo and Ryan Gravenberch. In 2020, a statue of Bob Paisley and Emlyn Hughes was unveiled outside Anfield. In their 131 years of their history, Liverpool have accumulated more top-flight wins and points than any other English team. Highest average league finish with 3.3 in 50-year periods 2015. Second highest in the 20th century to Arsenal, placing at 8.7. Most successful English club with 71 domestic, continental and worldwide trophies. Most successful British club in international football with 14 trophies. And third in Europe, only being beaten by Real Madrid and AC Milan. And the only English club to win the treble of Club World Cup, Champions League and Super Cup in their history. So that is the history of Liverpool Football Club. If I have missed anything you think I should have included, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming future content, and I'll see you in my next video.